I just learned from the orphanage director that I am not an abandoned orphan, but the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy businesswoman. The irony, that woman who abandoned me is my company's CEO Winus, the same one who fired me this month. I sat in Mrs. Chen's office at Spring Valley Orphanage, staring at the yellowed envelope in my trembling hands. The familiar scent of jasmine tea filled the room just like it did during my childhood years here. Nothing had changed minus the same faded curtains, the creaking wooden chair, and Mrs. Chen's collection of lucky cats still crowding her windowsill. But everything I knew about myself had just been turned upside down. Maya, I've kept this secret for 28 years, Mrs. Chen said softly, her wrinkled hands clutching a cup of tea. Sarah Williams made me promise not to tell you until after your 28th birthday. She said it was for your own protection. I wanted to laugh. 2 weeks ago, Sarah Williams, the CEO of Williams Tech, had called me into her office. With her perfectly manicured nails drumming on her mahogany desk, she'd informed me that my position was being eliminated due to restructuring. No warning, no explanation. Just a security escort and a cardboard box of belongings. Did she know? I asked Mrs. Chen, my voice barely a whisper. When she fired me, did she know who I was? Mrs. Chen nodded slowly, her eyes filled with a mixture of sympathy and something else, fear. She's always known, Maya. She's been keeping tabs on you since you started working at Williams Tech 3 years ago. My mind raced back to all those times Sarah had walked past my desk, her steel gray eyes lingering on me a moment too long. The way she'd blocked my promotion twice, citing lack of experience. The strange tension in meetings whenever I presented my ideas. It all made sense now. Here is more, Mrs. Chen continued, pulling out a stack of documents from an old filing cabinet. Your mother minus your real mother minus, she didn't abandon you willingly. Catherine Lin was a brilliant software engineer. She and Sarah were business partners when they founded the company. But something happened. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. Implied was a birth certificate, a few old photographs, and a handwritten letter dated 28 years ago. The first photo showed a beautiful young Asian woman holding a baby minus me. Her smile was radiant, her eyes bright with hope and determination. Behind her stood a younger Sarah Williams, her smile not yet hardened by years of corporate ruthlessness. Catherine disappeared shortly after this photo was taken, Mrs. Chen explained, her voice dropping to almost a whisper. The official story was that she'd embezzled company funds and fled the country. Sarah took control of the company and you were brought here, but I never believed it. Catherine loved you more than anything. The letter was from Catherine, my real mother. As I began to read her desperate words, tears blurred my vision. My dearest daughter, if you are reading this, I need you to know the truth. Sarah is not who she pretends to be. The code, the patents, everything she built her empire on, minus it was all stolen. I have proof hidden where only my blood can find it. Don't trust her, Maya. She'll try to convince you she was protecting you, but she's only ever protected herself. I folded the letter carefully, my mind already forming a plan. Sarah Williams hadn't just fired me minus. She'd stolen my mother's company, her reputation, and my entire life. For 28 years, she'd been living off the fruits of her betrayal while I grew up wondering why nobody wanted me. Now sitting in Mrs. Chen's office, with my past literally in my hands, I made a decision. Sarah Williams thought she could throw me away twice minus, first as a baby, then as an employee. But she had no idea what she just unleashed. Mrs. Chen, I said, standing up. Thank you for telling me the truth, but I need one more thing from you. Anything, dear. Tell me everything you remember about Catherine Lin, every detail, every conversation, because I'm going to find out what really happened to my mother, and I am going to make Sarah Williams pay for what she did to us.